I'm a Texan, a real Texan. The kind that believes the map of the United States ends at the Texas border. Because, honestly, the rest is just an administrative detail. I was born in '87, in a town so small, the main traffic light blinked yellow out of respect, not necessity. I grew up learning 3 fundamental things before I even knew how to read. 1. Good meat doesn't need sauce. 2. A pickup truck ain't a car. It's an extension of your soul. 3. If someone says y'all wrong, they ain't from around here. It's 2026, and I thought I'd seen it all. Californians trying to simplify Texas. New Yorkers complaining about the heat, like the sun had a personal vendetta against them. Europeans asking if we ride horses to Walmart. But nothing prepared me for the day. A Brazilian moved on to my street, and he didn't just move in. No. This man culturally assaulted Texas. It all started on a regular Tuesday, which in Texas kicks off at 90 degrees at 7 in the morning. 'Cause God likes us tough, I was on my porch, drinking my black coffee, admiring my perfectly manicured lawn. 'Cause in Texas, you don't mow grass, you defend territory. When I saw a moving truck pulling up to the house next door, first red flag, it wasn't a pickup. It was a generic white truck. No personality, no American flag sticker on the back. Second sign, a fella gets out of the truck wearing flip-flops. Flip-flops, not trail sandals, not modern cowboy leather flip-flops. The flimsy thong kind that looked like they were made to survive only beaches and bad decisions. I took a sip of my coffee and thought, well, maybe it's just temporary. A cousin, a mistake. Then he smiled at me, a big, bright, way too confident for a man, in flip-flops in Texas smile. Good morning, neighbor, he said with an accent that sounded like Spanish. But tired, I froze. 'Cause every Texan knows, if it ain't Mexican Spanish, it's something strange. Morning, I shot back, short, respectful, defensive. He held out his hand. I'm João, from Brazil, Brazil. I heard the word. Like you hear surprise attack. Brazil, in my mind, up till that moment, was made up of 3 things. 1. Soccer. 2. A forest. Trusty. Women who make the Super Bowl look like a shy event. I shook his hand and, out of cultural reflex, said the most American thing possible. Oh, cool. Cool means I don't know what to do with this information, but I don't want to seem rude. I thought it would end there. It did not. That very night, the Brazilian fired up a barbecue grill, and I thought, all right, okay, at least he gets that. Meat is a universal language. I was wrong. What he fired up wasn't a grill. It was a strange, tall metal contraption with an opening on the side, looking like a cross between a NASA rocket and a gasoline drum. And the smell wasn't hamburger. It wasn't brisket. It wasn't ribs. It was seasoning. A lot of seasoning. My neighbor on the other side came out on his porch too, looking confused, like the air itself had switched languages. What the hell is that? He asked. I just shrugged. Foreign policy failure. Then, Juwon yelled from his yard, "Hey neighbors, come eat." Now, in Texas, that's dangerous, 'cause if you invite a Texan to eat, he's gonna judge you as a person based on that plate. I went, 'cause I'm polite and curious, and because the smell was, I'll admit, damn good. He put meat on my plate, but it wasn't just any meat. It was cut into big, juicy chunks with coarse salt, no sauce, no sugar, no sweet stuff at all. I took a bite. Silence. My brain just froze. "So, what sauce is this?" I asked. He laughed. "Ah. Sauce. No sauce. Just salt." I looked at him like he'd just confessed to a federal crime. "You can do that." He just smiled with the confidence of a man who knows no fear. "That's how we do in Brazil." That night, 3 things happened. 1. I ate better meat than I'd ever made in my own backyard. 2. My Texan identity suffered a small crack. 3. I realized that Brazilian fella was a problem, but the worst was yet to come, because a week later, he went to HEB and came back with rice. So much rice. Huge bags of it. I saw him unloading it from his car, and I asked, "You open in a restaurant?" He replied, "No, that's just for the week." For the week. In Texas, rice is a side dish. In Brazil, apparently, it's a pillar of human existence. But okay, cultural differences. Until Sunday rolled around. Sunday in Texas is sacred. Church in the morning. Football in the afternoon. Meet again, 'cause Jesus didn't die for us to eat salad. I was on the couch, team jersey on, beer in hand, when I heard loud music. But it wasn't country. It wasn't rock. It was nothing that made sense with boots. It was something with a beat, with joy, with too much happiness. I went to the window. The Brazilian was in his yard, dancing by himself, happy, in broad daylight, no visible beer. I whispered to myself, "This man fears nothing." And then he made the final mistake. He came over to my fence and said, "Hey, you want to watch soccer later?" Soccer. He called football soccer. In Texas, that's basically declaring cultural war. I took a deep breath. "We watch football here." He smiled. "Oh, I know, but this is real football." And it was in that moment that I knew. This Brazilian didn't just come here to live. He came to change Texas. The neighborhood association called a meeting. In Texas, a neighborhood meeting is usually about one of 3 things. 1. Someone's lawn is an embarrassment. Someone's dog is thinking too loud. 3. A Californian has been spotted. This time, it was about the Brazilian. I knew it. Mrs. Higgins, who's been running the association since the Alamo was a construction site, stood at the front of the community center. She had a face that looked like it was permanently smelling something sour. "We are here," she began, "to discuss the recent cultural shifts on our street." That's Texan for the Brazilian fella. "There's been unusual music," she said, looking at me, "and questionable parking etiquette." She glared at the spot where Juwon's truck usually sat. And I've heard reports of foreign food items at our traditional gatherings. A murmur went through the crowd. I saw my cousin Hank in the back, trying to look invisible. I knew he had a container of leftover farofa in his fridge. I could feel it. "This is Texas," Mrs. Higgins declared. "We have traditions. We have brisket. We do not park sideways." Just then, the door creaked open. It was João. He was holding a tray. "Sorry I'm late," he said, with that same fearless smile. I brought pão de queijo, cheese bread. He was trying to bribe a Texan jury with carbs. It was brilliant. He started handing them out. People were trying to look stern, but then they'd take a bite of this warm, cheesy little puff of heaven, and their faces would just collapse. Mrs. Higgins took one, probably just to confiscate it as evidence. She bit into it. Her eyes closed for a second too long. "Dastim diabd. This is irrelevant," she stammered. "We need to vote. Do we formally request that Mr. Silva adheres more closely to our established community standards?" It was happening. The cultural showdown. I looked at João, who was just happily offering cheese bread to everyone, completely oblivious. I looked at Hank, who gave me a nod. I looked at Mrs. Higgins, whose face was fighting a war between disapproval and the undeniable joy of cheese. I stood up. "Mrs. Higgins," I said. My voice was steady. "He's not changing Texas. He's just adding some new spices." Silence. Then Hank stood up. "And that farofa stuff is pretty damn good on a brisket." Someone else muttered, "The coffee's better than Starbucks." Suddenly, the room wasn't so hostile. It was just a room full of Texans who'd been introduced to cheese bread. The vote never happened. The meeting just sort of fizzled out into a recipe exchange. And that's how it happened. That's how the Brazilian invasion succeeded. Not with a fight, but with a food truck. The next Sunday, we had a block party. There was brisket next to picanha. There was country music. Then there was samba. I was drinking a Lone Star beer. João was drinking something he called a caipirinha. He handed one to me. It tasted like a good decision. I looked at my street, at my neighbors, at this Brazilian who parked sideways and served coffee in tiny cups, and I thought, all right, maybe y'all can mess with Texas, just a little. João showed up, in flip-flops. Again. "We just want to know," the president said. "What are your intentions?" He thought for a moment and replied, "I just like warm places, good people, and meat, silence." "That's acceptable," someone said. Today is 2026. The Starbucks never reopened. Farofa is now at every barbecue. There are kids saying brigadeiro, better than they say cupcake. And me, I'm still a Texan. But now, when someone asks about Brazil, I say, oh, that place. Yeah, dangerous. They'll make you drink real coffee, eat better meat, and smile too much. And honestly, that's terrifying.